Hello everybody, Shifu the Cards here, doing another Gwent video, another week, another Gwent video live at you. This deck is a variant of a common version you may see on ladder. You see a lot of Northern Realms deck running similar cards. Mine's just a little bit different. But this introduces to some of you a new deck type. And I like to do what drew me into Gwent when I first started playing Gwent was resource management. I thought this game was very unique and very cool because in the original Gwent from Witcher 3, it was about cards and who had the most cards, and if you could, stack the deck, so to speak, with the cards in your hand, it was very difficult to get cards. So you had to play them very, very deliberately. So it was resource management. Well, now with these new cards and this new Gwent, it's more of resource utilization. So in other words, you want to try to make decks that let you pull or thin, which is a common term for this type of deck, thin your deck so that you get what you want at the later rounds. You're building your deck towards an end game, and you're doing it with cards that thin. So there's three main deck thinners in this deck. The first of which is the Reaver Hunter. Probably the most common of all Northern Realms thinning techniques, because what the Reaver Hunter does is it literally pulls from your deck another card and then another card as the turns go on. So you play this literally first. That's your first play, and you'll see that in a lot of Northern Realms deck. They'll tell you that they're looking to thin their deck to get to certain cards at the end. Usually the cards they're trying to get to at the end are going to be Resurrectors like Bloody Baron or Shani or Neneki. So they're trying to get to the end and then have those three cards in hand, or at least one or two of those cards in hand for the third round to resurrect and get more points than you and win. My deck's a little different. I'm building with that in mind, obviously, but I'm also playing with Ciri Dash. Ciri Dash is a card that is really only utilized, that I've seen, in Soyatel decks because they can thin like nobody's business with their first lights and the elves that bounce back cards. So what Ciri Dash does, for those of you that don't play it, and I've played a lot on the ladder and mouse over it, saying like, what is this? Ciri Dash, when destroyed, move to your deck and gain 3 base strength. So I said to myself, this would be a good idea for a deck in that you're constantly pulling from your deck if you had a card that keeps on going back to your deck. So Ciri Dash is what this was built around. Therefore, the name of the deck is There Is Something About Ciri. There's just something about Ciri. It's from a movie. I'm old. You should check it out. That's pretty funny. So there's just something about Ciri. So the deck is you hit your opponent over the head with Ciri 3 times. First round, second round, third round if possible, but at least the first and third round, because she will get stronger. And in Northern Realm, she's an 11 and then she's a 14. So that's pretty good strength for round 3. Okay, so the first thing you do is Reaver Hunter. But let's go even before that. Mulligan phase. When you first get your cards in your hand, what are you looking for? There are 4 main cards you want in your hand that would be the dream hand scenario. The first one is you want just 1 Reaver Hunter. You don't need 2, because sometimes you get stuck with 2 because of the Mulligan. But 1 Reaver Hunter. The key to the Northern Realms, which gets the second part of the thinning, is the Reaver Scout. So Reaver Scouts are just awesome cards in general and give you a lot of fluidity of what you want to do. So Reaver Scouts, what they do is they search for another card in your deck and pull it out, which is by essence a thinning maneuver. And the very common play with Northern Realms, as you'll see a lot of Northern Realms play, is they'll play Reaver Hunter first, a Redanian Elite second. Now that's not necessarily a thinning tactic, but this card benefits with the more you have them in play, the stronger they get because they promote themselves. So it's a really good card to thin. Now you can change this out. It doesn't have to be Redanian Elite. Heavy cav will work as well. But Redanian Elite is just a little stronger, 1 stronger, which could matter. So you go for the 4 cards you need: Reaver Hunter, Reaver Scout, Redanian Elite, and you want a Field Medic because there's a good chance that they'll have a removal for one of those 3 things. So those are the 4 right here. This whole left side of the board here are where you want to have in your Mulligan phase, just 1 of each. And then the rest, it really doesn't matter. You would love to have Priscilla, obviously, because she's a thinner, because she draws 2 and she puts the other one back in the deck, so you don't actually get. It's just a good cycle. A cycle means that you're drawing a card and you're playing it, so you're getting it out of your hand and drawing cards. So those are the 4. Those are the 4 opening hand. Now the more ways that you thin your deck is Priscilla, just aforementioned Priscilla, one of the key to any Northern Realms deck. A lot of times in round 2, you're going to use Neneki or Bloody Baron and his Lubricant to get Ciri back, sometimes to draw cards. You're trying to get your deck down and get points on the board. It's a double benefit. So Ciri is the second way that you, Priscilla is the second way, the third way that you thin your deck. The fourth way is the King of Beggars. King of Beggars is a great card and also a good resurrection target in round 2 and 3. Is because he will pull out right there, play the weakest non-gold unit, which means he plays silvers and he plays bronzes, and that's most of your deck. So you have the Reaver Hunter, the Reaver Scout, Priscilla, King of Beggars. Then you have Thaler, who draws 1. You can redraw up to 1 card. He's very, very excellent. My original build for this deck, I had Last Word, I think it was. I can't remember. Sorry, Last Wish. But Thaler works better because he gives you 6 points. So it's a little better. Plus, you can grab him later a couple different times. Honestly, you can decoy him, you can resurrect him, so you can play him more times or you can get a little more card draw if played properly. So I put him over Last Wish plus the 6 points. So then you have Thaler, and then of course you have Prince Stennis, which is just another great draw card. You can pick which one you want to draw. So there's just, as you see, almost everything is thinner. 1 thinner. There's 3 of them. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So roughly 1/3 of your deck is a thinning agent, which of course I need. And actually, you can count First Light as a clearing agent as a thinning agent as well. And then Decoy will replay a thinning agent, so it'll help you just constantly cycle. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get to Ciri, and Ciri, if you get her first, there is a good chance. I played it 15 times so far in non-ranked only. I'll be playing ranked this week and putting videos on it. I played 15 times. 6 times I've played Ciri in all 3 rounds. It's that effective and that easy to do. You're going to have no cards in your hand. You're going to have no cards in your deck at round 3 if everything goes to plan. So what will happen at the end of round 2 if Ciri's on the board is she'll go back to the deck. She's the only card in the deck. So you will draw her into your hand on round 3. It's a very, very nice synergy, and it's 14 points every time. So that's pretty good. You have, and I'll go through the rest of the deck. You have, of course, Field Medics to bring cards back from your graveyard. That's just a staple in any Northern Realms deck. And in turn 1, you are simply getting back one of the 3 cards you need. Kidwani Sergeants is a very common Northern Realms tactic. What you want to do is you want to Kidwani Sergeant your Bloody Barons. So you can either decoy him, which is nice, or you can resurrect him later with either Neneki or Priscilla. So that's what these 2 guys are. And also, by the way, they're just 6 strength, which is pretty good. So there's that as well. Geralt Igni is, I had originally Yennefer, but it felt like kind of a win more kind of card, which means it's not necessarily important. It helps you win by a little larger margin, so it's not really that great. But Geralt Igni, however, is really good because of the way this deck works. You're always going to have him at some point in your hand, and it's going to be coming at an opportune moment because you're going to really have to weigh it down. Resurrector, Shani, Resurrector, Bloody Baron, Resurrector, Neneki, and then the rest. So everything here works as thinning or resurrection, except for these 2, which work as an enabler of more resurrection. So it's like Resurrector, enabler. There's some defense, which is very necessary. The deck is all about Ciri Dash. So it's a Northern Realms archetype with a little dash of Ciri, a little dash of something different. You see what I did there? And so there you go. That's the deck. Full test, where full test comes into play, and that's very important, is that what you want to do in round 1, if possible, is when you play, so the first turn, you play Reaper Hunter. The second turn, you play Redanian Elite. Third turn, you play a Reaver Scout to search for another Redanian Elite. And then this is the key combo piece. On the 4th turn, you're going to full test this Reaver Scout, which will create a copy, and you're going to search for the other 2 Reaver Scouts. So you go search, search, and on the third one, you'll search for the third Redanian Elite. And that's just basically a great combo to thin your deck all the way down. And then, depending on what you have in your hand, hopefully it's Priscilla. If it's not Priscilla, use King of Beggars, because King of Beggars, and also King of Beggars will pull out Priscilla. I forgot to mention that. When you do your mulligan phase, you don't really want King of Beggars and Priscilla in your hand. It's best just to have King of Beggars, because when you play King of Beggars, he searches for your lowest card, and you see Priscilla is in fact your lowest card. So there's no need to have both. You could, if you really, I guess you want for maximum thinning value, but you can also try to get another card, maybe Ciri Dash if you don't have her. It's up to you what you have in your hand, but he is the search agent for her. That's basically why he's there. If you don't get her, be careful that if you use him and she's in your hand, and you get a field medic, that you have something in your graveyard. Otherwise, you just burned a useless card. So what you want to do in that case, a good idea, is to use Thaler in your hand to discard a card you want to play. So for example, you could discard a Prince Stennis into your discard pile to redraw a card with Thaler. And then, by using King of Beggars to get a field medic, it will automatically play that Prince Stennis on the other side. So there's different really good combo variants that you could pull off here as well. So just keep that in mind. It's not a deck where you want to play this for a while and then take it on to the big boy league or big girl league. So that's the basic deck idea of all the cards and where they fit in and how to utilize them. It's a very, you're going to do your thing kind of deck. It's not a counter deck. Is a setting the pace type deck. People that have played against Northern Realms a lot, there's some danger matchups, right? So monster graveyard digging kind of hurts. If they kill your Reaver Scout before you can full test it, that hurts, because a lot of times Madrone is very popular in higher ranks, so they'll just blitz him so you can't use him, and that kind of stymies you, but you can still get around it. It just depends what you have. I can't really tell you, because I don't know what you have in your hand. But those are the things that hurt. Weather can still hurt. You only have one first light, so it can hurt. Weather is not very good. So monster decks in general could be a little bit of a nuisance. But that's the deck. There's something about Ciri. Let me know. I'm very excited. I said I would do content starting at the beginning of the year, and I've done on January 1st. I did a deck. On the 8th, I did a deck. And on the 15th, I did a deck. So I'm kind of excited about that. I don't know if I'll be able to Twitch stream as much as I want to until February because of my work schedule. But I am able to do Sundays where I can do this little videos for y'all. So that's it. Shifu the Cards. A couple quick shout outs as always. Please check out Gwent Daily by Torlin. It's a great site for all your Gwent news. Some good streamers out there. DG Thunder just started his stream. Check him out. DG Thunder. And of course, check out BJ the Brave. Very good content. And for the best of the best, always check out King Black too. So, Shifu the Cards, signing out. Thank y'all for watching so much. It means a lot. Y'all have a good day. And that's it.